Hello everyone, have a very blessed day, and I hope you have already seen our 3 videos which were related to electrolysis, right? Lecture 1, in which we have discussed about the conductors, insulators. The second video, in which we had discussed about what is electrolysis. The third video, in which we had discussed the 2 examples which is given in your book related to electrolysis. Today is the conclusion part of electrolysis, in which we are going to discuss the application of electrolysis. Now, in application of electrolysis, there are 4 parts. First part will be extraction of aluminium. Second one is electro-refining of copper. Third one is your electroplating, and under electroplating you have 2 examples. One is silver plating and the last one is the gold plating, which is also called as gilding, right? So today we will just finish this off. Before I start the lecture, there is one very important thing that I want to discuss with you all, because right now you all are studying online, right? You are going through different websites, YouTube channels. The most important thing that I want to tell you, that whenever you watch videos, do not watch it continuously for consecutive hours, right? Take a break, splash your eyes with cold water. It is very important, right? And another thing, when we are studying online, there are many websites that you will come across, right? They will ask for your information. So do not give your personal information. Do not give your full name. And if any website asks for your contact phone number or your pictures, please, dear students, please do not fall into the predators of online, right? It is very, very important. I understand in this crisis we are switching over to online, but you have to be little alert. And important thing, other than splashing your eyes with cold water, do little bit of meditation that will relax your mind, because you are constantly watching videos, right? And another thing, open communication. What is open communication? Open communication is talk to your parents, your elders, right? Your guardians. And if you do not have anyone for open communication, I am here. You can call me. You can call the school's number. You can discuss anything. If somebody is bullying you, or if you feel something is not safe, you want to share, I am always there. You know it very nicely that I have been with you, right? And I am with you. So any time of day, night, you feel you want to discuss something, you call me up or you message me, right? So open communication, open up, do not keep secrets with you, right? Now let us start our journey for electrolysis, which is the last thing we are going to discuss today. Before I start with your electrolysis applications, important thing, a quick recap that we will do. So what is this? This is the container in which the process of electrolysis will be conducted. So this is called as what? Electrolytic cell. This is also called as what? Quick. In second video we had discussed, this is also called as voltmeter, right? 2 rods which carry the positive and the negative charge are called as what? It is called as electrodes. The one which is connected to the negative terminal, it's called as cathode, and the one which is connected to the positive terminal is called as anode. Excellent. Just repeat after me. It's a quick recap, right? Now, the ionic compound, do we take ionic compounds as solid only? No. What do? We make their solutions, right? So that solution of ionic compound is called as what? It is called as electrolyte. and this is the electrolyte which undergoes dissociation and new substances are formed at what? At cathode or maybe at anode. If it is a liquid, then it will be here as a precipitate sometimes, and if it is a gaseous state, then it will move out. So electrolyte are those ionic or electrovalent compounds which undergo dissociation and new substances are formed, right? So this complete thing, this complete process of breaking down of ionic or electrovalent compound is called as electrolysis. Now, one important thing that we have to maintain a constant supply of electric current which will have a constant potential difference, right? So the negative one, the positive one here. Now, suppose I take electrolyte as AB. Always remember one thing I want to tell you here, as it is an ionic compound and you are aware that ionic compound is what? One is a donor, one is an acceptor. So the donor जो देता है, that is an metal. Always it will be what? Metal. Metals, they donate, they give out, and non-metals, they have a tendency to take. So let us suppose take an ionic compound AB. Now look here at the bottom, nothing is written. That means how many atoms are there? One atom each. So suppose A is a metal. So if A is a metal, then what did I say? Metals have the tendency to donate. So metal will donate and acquire a positive charge because it is donating what? Electron. So the number of electron will decrease and the number of proton will increase. So it will have a positive charge. And this B, suppose this B is a non-metal, so it is an acceptor. It is taking electron. So number of electron is increasing for B. So that is why it will have what? Negative charge. This is the basic root, basic formula that we have in electrolysis process. Ionic compound dissociates as ions, cations and anions. This is what? Anion, and this is what? Cation. Now positive ion has an affinity, so where it will move? It will move towards cathode. So the reaction at cathode, what will happen? Cation A positive, it has acquired one positive charge, means it has given one electron. So here what happens, as it has given one electron, so it will take back the electron. So it is taking back the electron, right? So if it is taking back the electron, then what is the charge it will acquire? Then it will become what? It will become neutral. So it's, what is this happening? This is gain of electron. This is gaining of electron. It is taking the electron, right? So if it is the gain of electron, then what is the term that I told you that is given for the reaction that is taking place at cathode? It is called as what? Reduction. Excellent. So this is called as what? Reduction. So second step done at cathode. Now this negative charge, where will it move? It will move towards the positive side, right? So positive side is called as what? Anode. So at anode, B, non-metal, negative charge means it has acquired one electron. So what will it do? It will give back one electron, right? And become neutral. Clear? Now what is this? Minus, it is loss of electron. So loss of electron is termed as what? Quickly, Yes, it is termed as oxidation. Now in electrolysis, simultaneously reduction and oxidation takes place. That is why the reactions of electrolysis are termed as what? It is termed as redox reaction. Very clearly we had discussed this also, right? And I hope you remember the word redox. What do we mean by redox reaction? A reaction in which simultaneously reduction and oxidation is taking place. Oxidation means loss of electron, reduction means gain of electron, right? Now if the atom are stable like this, then it will remain as A or B. If they are not stable, especially in the cases of gaseous elements, right? If they are not stable, then what happens? They might combine and form a molecule. Similarly, here also, it might combine and form a molecule. So new substances are formed, right? So that is why it is said under electrolysis the electrolyte dissociates and new substances are formed, right? So this much is only electrolysis, this much. Now this A and B can be anything, any element, any metal, non-metal, right? But there are only 3 steps. First, dissociation, form the ions, break them, form ions. Then second step, reaction at cathode. Third step, reaction at anode, right? This much. And how they break, what, like 1 positive charge, 1 negative charge, or 2 positive charge, or 2 negative charge, or 3 positive or 3 negative charges. This all depends upon its valency. What is valency? The combining capacity, right, of an element is called its valency. Now metals, just remember this, close your eyes. Metals, they are donors, they give. They can give 1, 2 or 3. So 1 plus, 2 plus or 3 plus. Non-metals, they acquire, they take, right? So -1, -2 or -3s. Clear? So just make a note of this, and then I will start the main topic for today, which is extraction of aluminium. Hope the process of electrolysis is crystal clear now, right? Now we will discuss the application of electrolysis. The first one under this topic is extraction of aluminium. Now in electrolysis, like what we do, mainly the metals, they are extracted from their ores. Now what is ore? Ore is a type of a mineral from which we can extract metals, right? That is called as what? Ore. Simple language. ore क्या है? एक तरह का मिनरल है जिसमें से हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं? मेटल्स को इकोनॉमिकली एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं. इकोनॉमिकली मतलब कम इन्वेस्टमेंट में ज़्यादा मेटल हमारे को मिले, राइट? सो फॉर एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम, the main ore that is taken is cryolite. What is the formula? It is AlF3 into 3 molecules of sodium fluoride. So for the electrolyte, we take 60% or 60 parts of this cryolite. Along with that, we add second thing, which is alumina, pure alumina. This is pure alumina, which we take 20 parts, right? And the third thing that is taken is fluorspar, and it is also taken how much? 20 parts. The main reason to take fluorspar is that the temperature, the melting point of pure alumina is about 2050 degrees Celsius, which is very, very high. So to reduce that temperature, what do we add? To the electrolyte we add fluorspar, and which brings down the temperature to somewhat about 950 degrees Celsius. So a very common question that is asked in your West Bengal board exams, that name the compound that is added, right? Name the compound that is added to reduce the temperature. So what you will say? Fluorspar, right? Or they can ask you what is the chemical formula of fluorspar. You will give CaF2. What is the amount or what is the percentage of fluorspar that is used? It is 20 parts or 20%, right? Another thing that is asked, that why do we add fluorspar? So as I said, we add fluorspar to reduce down the melting point of pure alumina, which is 2050 degrees Celsius, and we bring it down to about 950 degrees Celsius. So the electrolyte comprises of these three things. So if a question comes, in extraction of aluminium, what is the electrolyte used, right? This also comes. In extraction of aluminium, what is the electrolyte that is used? Then you will write cryolite, pure alumina, fluorspar. It is 60, pure alumina is 20, and fluorspar is how much? 20. Now I will request you make a note of this, and also in your book, page number 112, it is given, just underline it, right? Just make a note of this, then I will proceed further. So, in extraction of aluminium, what is the electrolyte that is used? The electrolyte that is used is a mixture of three things: cryolite, fluorspar, and pure alumina, right? And which has the highest percentage? Cryolite. And what is cryolite? It is the ore of aluminium, right? This thing you have to remember. Now this process is carried out in an tank which is made up of iron. Which is made up of what? Iron, right? This outer electrolytic cell or the tank where the process is carried out, it is made up of iron, and then there are carbon rods which acts as the blocks of carbon. They act as what? They act as anode. So if it is anode, then what is the charge? Positive. Very good. That means these are connected to positive terminal, right? Now where is the cathode? One side of the tank, the inner lining, this inner lining is made up of what? Carbon. This is also carbon, right? Remember this thing. But these are connected to the positive end, so they act as what? They act as anode. And this lining, this carbon lining, it acts as a cathode. If it is acting as a cathode, that means what is the charge out here? Negative. Very good. Always remember, as we are doing extraction of metals, pure metals, they are always collected at cathode. Pure metal हमेशा cathode पे कलेक्ट किया जाता है. Why so? Because metal, they always acquire a positive charge, right? And cathode has what? Negative charge. So positive will have an affinity to move towards what? Cathode only, right? So that is why whenever we are doing electrorefining or electrolysis process and collecting pure metals, the metals are always collected at cathode. This is one mark question which is usually asked, that where the metals are extracted, which electrode the metals are extracted. So your answer should be cathode. So I hope this much description is clear. We take an tank. In the tank, anode The carbon rods connected to the positive side, it acts as anode. The carbon lining, it acts as what? Cathode. This portion acts as your cathode. This is also carbon, this is also carbon, but where the metal will be collected? The metal will be collected here, this cathode side. Now, in the electrolyte, what we had taken pure alumina, cryolite and fluorspar. What is the use of fluorspar? To reduce down the temperature. Now, the pure alumina, it undergoes dissociation. Now, how it will break down? Aluminium is what? Positive. It will be positive. Why it will be positive? Because this is a metal. Oxygen is what? Oxygen is a non-metal, so it will be what? Negative. Now, valency of aluminium is how much? Valency of aluminium is 3. So that means how many electrons aluminium will give? It will give 3 electrons. What is the valency of oxygen? Valency of oxygen is 2. And as it is a non-metal, so that means it takes 2 electrons, right? Now, balance it. How many parts aluminium is there? 2. And oxygen is how much atom? 3 atoms, right? So this is the main thing. Clear? Main dissociation part, the main overall reaction part. Now again, focus here. This is what? Positive. Where the positive will go? Positive will go towards cathode. Metal will always be collected at where? Cathode. Why cathode? Because cathode has a negative charge and metal has a positive charge. And where this part will move? This part will move towards anode, right? Now when this part will go to aluminium, then what will be the reaction at cathode? Two atoms of aluminium. Now, okay, I'll ask you the question. Aluminium has 3 positive charge. 3 positive charge means it has donated the 3 electrons. Now at cathode, what will happen? It will take back the 3 electrons. It will take back how many electrons? It has given 3, so it will take back 3. So if I write 3 electrons, is it correct or incorrect? Use your brain. Is it correct for this particular equation I am talking about? Listen again. Aluminium valency is 3. That means it gives 3 electrons, right? Now at cathode, it will take back 3 electrons. So I will write 3 electrons for this particular equation, 3, or will I write 6 electrons? What will I write? 6. Why will I write 6? Understand very carefully. 1 is giving 3. So 2 will, how much? 6. Very good. So for 1, it is 3. So 2 के लिए कितना होगा? 2 3s are 6. So how many electrons will it take back? 6 electrons. And what it will become? 2 atoms of aluminium. 2 atoms है ना? एक atom 3 देता है, तो 2 atom कितने देंगे? 6, right? And what it has formed? 2 atoms of aluminium. And where it will be collected? Here, right? The aluminium ions, they will move towards this direction. The moment it attaches here, it will undergo what? Loss of electron. This is loss of electron. Minus ka sign, it means what? Loss of electron. Loss of electron is termed as what? Quickly, it is termed as oxidation. That means which reaction will take place here? Oxidation will take place here. And aluminium will be collected in which form? As it has a very high temperature, so it will be collected in molten state. So there is a container to collect the pure aluminium in molten state, right? So this is the reaction which will take place at cathode. Bauxite, like earlier also I mentioned, important answers, important points, always highlight them for your board exams. Now reaction at anode. At anode, where is anode? These are anodes, right? Which it has a positive sign. So which part of the equation will move this side? Oxygen. Why oxygen will move this side? Because oxygen has what? Negative charge. So negative will have an affinity towards what? Positive, right? Again, what will happen here? The moment oxygen comes to the anode part, reduction process will take place. Reduction will take place here, right? And that is what we will see here. Now, 3 atoms of oxygen. 3 atoms of oxygen. एक ने 2 लिया है, तो 3 कितने लेंगे? 6. Very good, right? So now it will give the electron. How many electrons it is giving? 6 electrons. It has taken, now it is returning back. What it is doing? It is taking, it is returning back. And what will happen here? Now it will form 3 oxygen molecules, right? So what is taking place at anode? Loss of electron. So it is, what is happening here? It is returning back, reduction. Now this 3O, they will, now oxygen cannot be found in this state. It is not stable in this atomic state. So what happens? 6 atoms of oxygen, they combine and they form 3 molecules of oxygen. They form what? 3 molecules of oxygen. So this is the reaction that is taking place at what? Anode. And this is the reaction that takes place at what? Cathode. So here it will be liberated as oxygen gas and they will escape the electrolytic tank. It will escape the electrolytic tank. So again, let us quickly revise. Aluminium, pure alumina, Al2O3, it breaks down as what? 2 atoms of aluminium. Valency of aluminium is what? 3 plus, and oxygen is what? 2 minus. So where it will go? It will go towards the cathode. It had given 3 electrons and acquired the positive charge, so it will take back its 3 electrons and it will become what? Aluminium. And again, oxygen will move towards where? Oxygen will move towards anode. At anode, what will happen? It had taken electrons, 2 electrons, so now it has to give out the electrons and become what? Neutral. But at this stage it is not stable, so what happens? It will combine with 6 atoms and give 3 molecules of oxygen, right? Now I will request you make a quick note of this, and this is the process how the extraction of aluminium is done. Okay, now our second topic under application of electrolysis, electro-refining of copper. This is very easy. We have already discussed when we were discussing the electrolysis of copper sulfate. If you remember, using copper rods, right? Now, what is this? Electro-refining of copper. That means extraction of pure copper from its ore. Now, here what do we take? We take just like the example that we have studied. These electrodes both are made up of what? Copper. The thick blocks, these are what? Impure copper. This is what? Impure copper, and in the middle we insert pure strips of copper. These thick blocks are impure copper, and in between the impure copper are the thin strips of pure copper. Now we have to do the extraction. In the last lecture, what did I said? That metals are always collected at which part? They are always collected at the cathode part. So this pure strips we will connect to the negative terminal, and they will act as what? They will act as cathode. And the impure thick blocks, they will be connected towards the positive terminal, and if they are connected towards the positive terminal, then these will be what? Anode, right? Clear? So we take the electrolytic tank. Inside the electrolytic tank, the electrodes are both of copper. However, the anode is the impure copper block, and cathode is the pure thin strips of copper. And for electrolyte, what do we take electrolyte? Copper sulfate, and as you know, we have to take a solution. So what is added? Sulfuric acid is added. So copper sulfate is taken as 15%, and the sulfuric acid is somewhat around 5 to 10% to make a solution of it, right? Now the moment when we pass the electric current, copper sulfate, it will dissociate. Copper is what? What did I told you? Ionic compound. So one is metal, one is non-metal. Which is metal? Copper is metal. If copper is metal, then it will have what? A positive charge. It has a tendency to donate electron. And sulfate is non-metal, so it has a tendency to acquire electron. If it has a tendency to acquire electron, so it will have a negative charge. Now what is the valency? Valency of copper is 2. That means it can give 2 electrons. What is the valency of sulfate? Its valency is 2. That means it can take 2 electrons. Am I clear? Now, copper plus, where it will go? It will go towards cathode. It's a cation. Where it will move? It will move towards the cathode. This is what? An ion. Where it will go? Negative. It will go towards the anode. Right? What are we doing? We are collecting pure copper. Now, main reaction, it has broken down like this. Coming to cathode. At cathode, what will move towards cathode? Copper. What is copper? Copper is a cation. It has a positive charge. So that is why it will move towards what? It will move towards the negative part. Now, at cathode, what type of reaction takes place? Reduction reaction. दो दिया था तो वापस लेगा ना, right? Now, look here. Cathode, here, copper is moving. Cu2 plus. Why is it has a 2 plus? Because it has given 2 electrons. So now what it will do? It will take back its 2 electrons. So what it will do? It will take back its 2 electrons. So diya tha, it is taking back. It had given, it is taking back. And what it will form? Cu. So then what happens? It undergoes reduction and pure copper starts collecting at the cathode part. What is this? Gain of electron. So gain of electron is called as what? It is called as reduction. At cathode, what takes place? Reduction takes place. Reduction में क्या होता है? Reduction में जो इलेक्ट्रॉन दिया था उसको वापस ले लेता है. It is very much stable as an atom, so it starts collecting here on the thin strips. Now, what is left here? The sulfate part. What is left here? The sulfate part. Now if you remember the last lecture, in that I had very clearly discussed that instead of sulfate moving towards the एनोड पार्ट, इंस्टेड ऑफ सल्फेट मूविंग टूवर्ड्स द एनोड पार्ट, ये एनोड को नहीं लेता है, एनोड पे ये सल्फेट को नहीं लेता है, एनोड पे सल्फेट को नहीं लेता है. इंस्टेड कॉपर itself starts losing what? Electrons. It start losing what? Electrons. Why? This we had discussed. Again I am repeating because it is very important question. Because the ionization potential of copper is lower than dissociation energy of sulfate. So why it is not taken? It is not taken because ionization energy of copper is what? It is very much less as compared to dissociation energy of sulfate. Now if I give you a task and it is your choice, right? If I ask you to pull heavy log, right, and I give you 2 sticks to move, and it is your choice, completely your choice to do it. So which one you will go for? Will you pull the heavy log? No. You will pull the lighter sticks. Why? Because energy कम लगेगा, right? That is why यहाँ पे भी energy क्या है? कम लगता है. इसीलिए instead of taking sulfate, कॉपर खुद ही इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज करना स्टार्ट कर देता है and it undergoes what? Oxidation. So at anode, will sulfate go? No. What will happen? This will start losing electrons and its size will become what? Less. Its size will start decreasing, and when the ions are released, what will happen? They will undergo reduction and they start collecting on the pure strips, which is the cathode. At anode, what will happen? Copper atom, it will start losing the electrons. Loss of electrons is called as what? Loss of electrons is called as oxidation. So what happens at anode? At anode, oxidation starts taking place. As a result, copper ions यहाँ से गिरते रहेंगे, यहाँ पे उनका रिडक्शन होता रहेगा, प्योर स्ट्रिप्स पे वो अटैच होते रहेंगे. Once the process is over, प्योर स्ट्रिप्स निकाल लेंगे, एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लेंगे प्योर कॉपर. दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. व्हाट इज दिस? This is called as electrorefining of copper. So what do? Here we take the electrolyte as copper sulfate, which is 15%. To make the solution, we take what? Sulfuric acid, which is 5 to 10%. Then the dissociation takes place. Copper is a metal, so it breaks as 2 plus. Why 2 plus? Because its valency is 2. Sulfate is non-metal, so it dissociates as an anion 2 minus. At cathode, copper starts moving. There it starts gaining back the electron. It undergoes reduction and forms pure copper, which is collected on the cathode part, which is nothing else but a pure thin strip of copper. And at anode, what happens? Sulfate is not accepted. Why? Because the ionization potential of copper is very low, so it readily starts losing the electrons and becomes what? Ions, and which are again picked up by the cathode, and the pure copper starts collecting on the thin strips of cathode. So here copper, it starts losing electron. How much it can lose? Its valency is 2, so it will lose 2 electrons only, and it becomes what? Cu2 plus, and as it is a loss of electrons, so this is called as what? Dissociation. Dissociation, and it is the term that is given, the term is given as what? Oxidation, right? And as simultaneously reduction and oxidation is taking place, so this is what? A redox reaction. Now important thing, what is done here, and a very important question comes from here: what is anode mud? What is anode mud? Actually, what happens at anode, what do? I said we take impure rods of copper. So impure rod of copper, it contains some precious metals also, like platinum, gold and silver. Now we do not want to lose these precious metals, right? So what do? We attach a bag here, a thin cloth bag is wrapped around the, this is just a thin cloth which is wrapped around the impure rods of copper, and when electrons they start moving out, right, then these precious metals they collect here in the cloth, and that is called as what? Anode mud. That is called as what? Anode mud. Why anode? Because anode has what? Impure blocks. Impure blocks contains precious metals like platinum, gold and silver. So to collect those precious metals, we attach a cloth to the impure rods, and then that particular collection of precious metal is called as what? Anode mud, right? Now this much only I will request you, please make a note of this. This is a rough sketch, but complete thing is described here, right? So quickly make a note of this, okay? So my dear children, the last topic that we are going to touch for the day is electroplating under application of electrolysis. Now again, electroplating, what do we mean by electro? Electro is derived from the term electrolysis, and plating, you know what? Coating. So usually what is done, the metals which are corrosive like iron, or sometimes to increase the value of a metal or to make a decorative pieces, right? What do? We coat. Suppose this is iron. To prevent it from corrosion, if I coat it with another non-corrosive means which readily does not react with oxygen and water, right? Non-corrosive metals like nickel, gold or silver, that process is called as what? Electroplating. Now like you cover your books. Why do you cover your books? Because it should not be soiled. So that is why what do? You cover your books. Exactly in the very same manner, to prevent the corrosion and sometimes to increase, to make the object look attractive and to increase its commercial value, we coat the metal with another non-corrosive metal, that is called as what? Electroplating. And in your course book, two parts are given, one electroplating of silver and another is the electroplating with gold. Now if you remember, in the previous lecture, what did I say? That metals are always collected where? Which part? Cathode part, right? So the object that has to be coated is always attached to the cathode part. Now suppose in electroplating, and yes, a very common example I will give you. You must have heard about gold plated jewelry, silver plated jewelry, isn't it? So how do we do that? Like this is an ornament and I have to coat it with silver or gold. So I will attach this particular ornament to which side? To the cathode side. To which side I will attach? I will attach this to the cathode side. And the metal that is to be coated, right? Like suppose if I have to coat silver, then silver will be at the anode part. What will be at the anode part? Silver. Now suppose if I am coating gold, then what will be at the anode part? Gold. So whatever object we have to coat is always attached to the cathode part. It is always attached to the cathode part, and the pure metal is always at the anode part. Am I clear? Now suppose you must have heard about silver cutlery sets. So suppose if I have to electroplate the spoon, which side it will be? It will be on the cathode part. So what happens? From here, anode, it will start losing what? Electrons. It will start losing the electrons. It will become ion, right? And which part it will move? It starts moving towards the cathode. It is positive, so it will start moving towards the positive, and a thin film of silver is coated over the object. And once the process is done, then we stop the current supply and we take out the object. Now why do we do electroplating through the electrolysis process? Because the coating is uniform. Remember this, because the coating is uniform, because we are providing what? A current at a constant potential difference. So a constant supply is going, so a very uniform film is coated over the object. That is why we use the electrolysis process for the electroplating. Now what is the electrolyte that is taken for silver? The electrolyte that is taken, it can be potassium or a sodium argentocyanide. Potassium argentocyanide. So what is the electrolyte that is taken? The electrolyte that is taken for electroplating of silver is potassium argentocyanide. What is the process? Very simple. Silver rod is taken as what? Anode, and from there what happens? Electrons starts losing. It becomes what? It becomes cations. Then cations start moving towards the cathode, and a thin film is developed on the object. So two things that you have to remember here. Which part the object for electroplating is done? At cathode side. What is the electrolyte that is taken for the electroplating of silver? The electrolyte that is taken is potassium argentocyanide. It can be sodium also, Na, right? So this much for silver. And similarly for gold. Suppose I have to do the earring now. So which side it will be? Cathode side. Gold rod will be on the positive side. It starts losing what? Electron. It starts losing electrons. So which charge it will acquire? It will acquire a positive charge. If it acquires a positive charge, then which side it will move? It will move towards the cathode, and a thin film is developed over the object. And what is the electrolyte that is taken? Potassium or sodium orocyanide. Usually 1 mark question is for this only. Like what is the electrolyte that is taken for silver plating? What is the electrolyte that is taken for gold plating? And where the object to be coated is attached. So it is always attached or placed at cathode. Remember this thing. This much only 2 marks objective question comes from this particular section. And another thing, gold plating is also known as gilding. This is again an 1 mark objective question. So a question comes, what is gilding? So what is gilding? Gilding is nothing, it is electroplating of gold. So just make a quick note of this particular thing, and with this we finish the chapter number 8, the topic electrolysis. Under electrolysis we have discussed conductors, insulators, electrolytes, non-electrolytes, then the process of electrolysis, then 2 examples of electrolysis, then applications. Under applications we discuss extraction of aluminium, electro-refining of copper, and the third one, electroplating. Under electroplating there are 2 sections, silver and gold. I hope I have been able to discuss and explain and solve the difficult part in a much easier manner. However, I will request you all to go through your books, go through the videos. If you have any queries, please comment, ask me, so that I can help you out in solving these questions related to electrolysis. Thank you so much for your time.